your kind words and support. Obviously, it's a very big step for me, but I'm excited for the future of Beit Issie Shapiro, which will be in the hands of the young next generation. So, first of all, I'd like to thank the Israeli and Austrian missions, the Harvard School project on disabilities, and ESSA for co-sponsoring. Thank you, Prof, for being our mentor and amazing friend. And thank you to all the speakers for joining us today. So it's my privilege to share with you the story of Beit Issie Shapiro as social entrepreneurs. And I absolutely agree with Professor Stein that in the implementation of the CRPD, there is importance, obviously, of policies top-down, but no less importance in order to make sure that things happen is the role of non-profits, entrepreneurial non-profit organizations, to make for change bottom up. So, just hang on. So our mantra at Beit Issie Shapiro, social entrepreneurs, is that you have to keep your eyes on the goal and not be distracted by all the obstacles along the way. We strive to address complex social problems that require fundamental shifts in institutions and people's attitudes. That is no mean feat. But I want to tell you as a seasoned entrepreneur that when you approach new change, you hear these voices. It will never work. It's the wrong timing. Don't do it. You'll go broke, etc., etc. So my first message to you all is don't buy into these voices. I've learned that a bit of organizational stubbornness goes a long way. So let me give you an example of this process for change that relates to Article 7, children's rights, and Article 24, the right to education. So 30 years ago, we at Beit Issie Shapiro identified an unjust situation where young children with significant disabilities in their families had no access to services when they most needed it. We set up a model of excellence around community-based early intervention in two diverse communities, in the Hebrew-speaking community and in the Arabic-speaking community. When we saw how effective our model was, we decided that the civil society could not meet all the needs in the country, and we decided to go on a legislative process to turn our experience into a basic right for all young children in Israel. We managed to pass a law that assured this right, and today there are 130 early intervention centers around Israel for all groups and for all languages. We are also training people across the Green Line in Bethlehem as well as in other countries. So as we can see here, when we started this legislative process as change agents, as social entrepreneurs, we were told by all the stakeholders around us, this is not the right timing. The parliament, the coalition in our parliament is weak. Disabilities is not on the agenda of the parliament. Israel is facing more critical issues, and just as well we didn't listen. Because today, every child in Israel has the right to access early intervention services. So I'd really like to just say a word about how social entrepreneurs are defined by Martin and Osborne. Anyway, I'm sure there are many different ways of defining social entrepreneurship. But social entrepreneurs are people who identify an unjust situation in which a segment of the population is excluded and marginalized. They challenge the existing situation, create new alternatives and solutions, and then facilitate a new equilibrium on a more scalable level, on a local, national, and international level. So let me make this definition a little bit more tangible in the Israeli context. 39 years ago, when Beit Issie Shapiro started, the situation for people with disabilities was bleak. The public had negative attitudes, and institutionalization was the main solution. In fact, we are only now going through a process of deinstitutionalization, and there was certainly no community service-based organizations. So Beit Issie Shapiro wanted to create a change and bring successful models and then impact and scale them up together with government, the private sector, and civil society. We realize that government is hesitant to take risks, is hesitant to bring new solutions to the table, and therefore we do have an obligation to be the beacon of light on the ground to show what change can look like. I'm pleased to say that in Israel today, things have changed completely. There's a vibrant civil society with outstanding NGOs, many of them here this morning. The government has very enlightened legislation, and we have an amazing commissioner, Remy, sitting here, on the equal rights of people with disabilities. But of course, we still have a long way to go. So I want to just show you some of the models that we innovated and how we managed to scale them up. Just very quickly, some services. We set up the first dental clinic in Israel, the first multi-sensory room, the first therapeutic hydrotherapy pool, the first inclusive playground, the first early intervention center, so on. And today, there are 20 dental clinics, 500 sensory rooms, 130 early intervention centers, 40 inclusive playgrounds, and 150 therapeutic pools, of which we don't run most of them. So this is how we have looked at as innovation and social entrepreneurship and scaling up. But now I'd like to relate and of course this was all done with government and changing regulations, changing legislation, making sure that the business sector gets involved and other NGOs. I'd like now to give two other examples that are not service-based, but they're principles that are well within the CRPD, the Convention of the Rights of People with Disabilities. So the first subject that I want to speak about in terms of our social entrepreneurship is assistive technology. I want to relate to Article 24. Just as 30 years ago, we identified an unjust situation with people with early intervention, there's no doubt that the world has become more technological and our day-to-day functioning is dependent on access to technology. The gap of an already marginalized population becomes even greater if the issue of universal design and accessibility is not addressed. So as social entrepreneurs, we wanted to explore the role that we have in addressing this gap in Israel. So we formed a partnership with the Israeli high-tech community as well as with worldwide companies like Google, Apple, SAP. And together, just as an example, with people with disabilities, we trained on the Google campus app developers on how they can make their apps accessible across all the disabilities. In addition, we developed a platform, an accelerator platform, to help high-tech people produce and develop appropriate AT for people with disabilities, of which 40 of the projects that went through our accelerator, 40% of the projects that went through our accelerator have got money and got seed money either from the head scientist in Israel or from private investors, and 5 of the products are already on the world market. We are now taking this to the next level and developing a proper incubator which will accelerate solutions to people with disabilities. And I'm very excited to see where that will bring us. But we know that this is not enough. We know that only 10% of the population who needs assistive technology actually uses it. So we are also now just opened our first training course of professionals, families and people with disabilities on the use of AT together with the Haifa University. The last example I want to bring on our social entrepreneurship is the issue of leadership and self-advocacy, which is really the heart of the Convention of the Rights of People with Disabilities. I want to relate to Article 29. Social entrepreneurship does not just belong to the professional community, but mostly belongs to the disability community. So we have developed a social entrepreneurial leadership program with the valued help of Prof. Stein and Madam Venus, who are our mentors. And within this leadership program, We impart knowledge and skills necessary to affect social change. This initiative is for DPOs and individuals across the disability community, where diversity is valued, such as age, ethnic group, gender, types of disabilities, etc. And we are really, in this effort, committed to two major principles. The first being cross-disability entrepreneurship, and the second, the leadership be active in mainstream organizations for change, like in the field of health, gender issues, political, social, and other economic issues. We are focusing on the more marginalized groups who don't have a voice, people with intellectual disabilities, people who use augmentative communication, women with disabilities, youth, and so on. But we've really learned so much from our advocates who have intellectual disabilities. We have formed 11 local advocacy groups, and there's a national group, and they have done amazing work in impacting on legislation which is in the heart of the CRPD, the guardianship law. The SCUT, which is a human rights organization, put on the table in our parliament to change the guardianship law. But our advocates, when they gave witness to the rights that are taken away from them, from our present law, and they managed to influence our parliamentarians to make a change. And today there are pilot programs on supportive decision making. And I really give the full credit for this change to the self-advocates. So I think in conclusion, I'd just like to share with you some of what my personal beliefs are on how do you keep organizations entrepreneurial. How do you keep an organization of 39 years still innovative and entrepreneurial? It's no easy feat. So as I look to the future also on how organizations are going to have to look in order to make social changes, these are a few of my thoughts. Firstly, I think the organizations of today and tomorrow have to change quickly as the environment and needs change. One has to identify opportunities and move on them fast in order not to lose the opportunities. Structure is important. We see Beit Issie Shapiro as a big startup, but the different units within the organization are the mini startups. And the mini startups need quite a lot of autonomy in order to make decisions and move forward. We also believe that there have to be transdisciplinary, cross-organizational teamwork. This creates not only synchronization in the organization, but also creativity, where people with different points of view come and voice their opinion, and you can get to a much better and effective process. The organizations have to be flexible and correct course as they move along in the social change process. And the profile of people with, in terms of the HR profile, the people you employ as an organization, have to have a profile of a growth mindset. In other words, people who are able to take risks, people who have dreams, and that has to be encouraged. Management has to be able to listen to the needs from the people working on the ground. It's not just the management. I always say the fantastic innovations that have come to Beit Issie is not from me. It's from the people on the ground working together and hearing families, hearing the children, hearing the adults. So as management, you have to be very focused and give your the people on the ground their voice. The culture of the organization has to be one of partnerships between government, non-profit, and the business sector. And maybe lastly, in the world we live in, and here we're all together in this room, there have to be global collaborations. The world is very small. We have learned so much from our colleagues around the world, and I hope that we have managed to share some things. So, Beit Issie Shapiro, this is our story. From 16 direct service recipients in 1980, we are now impacting on 500,000 people annually. So I'd like to just invite you all to really keep in contact with us. We have so much to learn from you all, and I really believe that together we can, through entrepreneurship, we can further the implementation of the CRPD. Thank you very much.
thank you, Jean, for all that you do, all that you have done, all that you continue to do. And before we shift away from Beit Issie Shapiro, we also mentioned that in July 2020, you'll be hosting your 7th International Global Conference in Tel Aviv, with details to be found on the Beit Issie website.